Okay, good morning, everyone. Thanks very much for coming. This is a very informal session, so if any of you want to interrupt at any point, just do interrupt us, okay? I wanted to start out a bit by thinking about why we were doing this session. So a long time ago, Anna and I were talking about the social networks in general, the different ones that there are, and how people use them, and how we could increase our visibility in them. And we thought it'd be good to do this kind of session. So I think we spoke about doing it about 2 years ago. So finally we did it. and just before she leaves us, so temporarily. So anyway, it's nice that it came together, and I hope you get something out of it. I want to start just by maybe thinking a bit about how normally we interact with people, as scientists or students or whatever kind of role we have. So normally we'd interact probably if we go to a conference, or if we go to a trade fair, or in-person events when people come and visit, or maybe by email we'd write to someone to find out if we could collaborate with them. It's clear those things already exist, but and won't disappear probably. But I think the social media gives us another tool to be able to do that. So certainly in my career, I've kept in touch with people and been able to keep track of people through social media. I would say especially LinkedIn in that sense. So in my case, former students, I can know where they are because I look for them in LinkedIn. If they've changed company, which I might not have heard about, I know where they are. So I mean, that's just a small example. But anyway, it's a way to keep in touch with people. And also most of them have direct messaging involved. So that's also another way. Rather than using email, you can interact with people in that way. And that's something I use regularly. It's quite useful. So that on the one hand, so that's interacting with people and keeping in touch with people. So that's the thing that in general, all of the platforms are useful for. And I would say another thing is getting information. So I don't know about most of you where you get information from, but I don't look at a journal anymore. I don't go to, so I'm a chemist, I don't go to Journal of the American Chemical Society, which I used to do. When I was young, we used to have the volume, which came to the lab, and we'd open it and flick through the pages, very nostalgic. It was nice. Now the library is full of journals that no one ever opens, right? But anyway, that's another story. But in general, the journals have feeds. So on different platforms, but all of them have feeds. So especially within your area, this is a really good way to get information. And especially if people repost those things, it's a way to get information. I would say when there are companies, if you have contact with a particular company, if you're interested in the products they have, it's a way to get news about new things they might have or offers they might have, which is rather than email, because very often with email, our filters cut everything out, right? So we wouldn't necessarily see it. With social media, you'll see that stuff. It can act as a link to web pages. So web pages, I mean, I don't go and visit web pages of whoever any day. The only way I go to those web pages now is through social media. And, it'd be really time consuming, I think, to go to all the web pages of people to get news, right? But through social media, you can do that kind of following. And also in terms of societies, so Royal Society of Chemistry, Spanish Royal Society of Chemistry or Physics, all of those have their own feeds. So it's another way to interact and to get news, which you might get through a newsletter, maybe. Personally, I find email newsletters very stodgy, kind of heavy, Social media for me is a much lighter way to do that. So, I mean, I would say that's the general context, how we interact with people, companies, services, whatever, all of those things. It's a really interesting way to do it. And now we're just looking at Geordie. So if someone's got a new software that they bring out that's useful for the community, maybe they put a news out on social media. There's all kinds of things that you can hear about through social media, which you wouldn't necessarily hear about in other ways. When someone posts something on an archive, for example, I mean, I never even tried looking at archives, so I don't know how you discover that if it's not on social media. I wouldn't know how to discover it but on social media, it's there immediately, you know. So that's really useful. So that's the general philosophical background. No, it's a kind of a, not very new now, but it's a way to interact with people, groups of people, societies, companies, journals, all of that. It's a really useful tool. And I mean, the thing here isn't to convince you, but it's to make you aware of the possibilities that exist in all of that, okay? And now I'm going to hand over to Anna, who's going to do the main part of the work here.
Okay, thank you, David. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. I hope that the seminar is of interest for you too. And yeah, as David explained just now, we've been talking about doing this seminar for a long time, and in the end, I'm happy that we can do it, to show you some examples of how to use social media, from the basics to some practical tips and strategies that we could use as a whole, no? As ICMAB and as you as researchers. So because now social media, even if we don't like it, is part of science communication. No? There is a growing community, in fact, of researchers and scientists who use social media for communicate their science. And basically, simply, no, it increases visibility of our work, of our science. It increases collaboration. So I've heard of people saying, no, that they have found collaborators that have seen some of their articles or posts in social media. And this can lead to new collaborations with people that you don't even imagine or didn't even know existed. And it increases also outreach. So you reach different kind of public, no? Different kind of audiences, because sometimes you can think, I already do science communications, writing articles or going to conferences. Well, but this can reach another type of audience, no? Of public. We as ICMAB have different social medias, you will see just in a moment. But the truth is that people do not like or do not follow much institutions, no? Like ICMAB would be. People follow people and they believe in people, no? And that's why also we think it's important that it's you also, that you communicate your research. And then it's like un peix que es mossega la cua, we can do it like a vice versa feeding, no? Like feedback, because if you communicate your science, people will like what you say, because they want to know who is behind science, no? Who is doing this thing. But we also, as ICMAB, can help you increase your reach, because we have also maybe more followers than you, or well, maybe not, but. And then you can also help us as institution grow. So it's like we need you and you need us, no? As ICMAB. So yeah, the goal of this session would be like how to use social media for researchers, from the basics to some practical strategies. Now let's just see the platforms that we have, just in case you've never been inside one of them. This is the antique Twitter, no? The X platform. As ICMAB, this is our profile. We have now around 5,500 followers. It's okay. We are not like a research center with many followers, but it's not bad. So we are there in the middle. We follow us 1,000 people, and this is like a feed of our posts. Like today, we have retweeted a tweet from the conversation, because today is the Materials World Day, by the way. They made a post here. This is a retweet of a journal that has retweeted our journalist in residence call. This is a tweet from our webpage, because we use social media. One of the uses we do it is to tweet or to post to expand the reach of the news we put in our website. So as you know, the ICMAB website has a lot of news. And then to people to go in the website, as David said, no, that you exceed to websites through social media. So that's also one of our uses. Every news that we post in our website, we put it in Twitter, Blue Sky, LinkedIn, and some of them also in Instagram. So people can then just click here and go to our website. This, for example, Núria Cribilés now has been part of a jury of this contest of Jóvenes Investigadores. So we also retweeted this. You see, Núria Cribilés, yeah.
Yeah, just one thing for those who are really novice in social media. So there's two kinds of content here, right? That you'll see, this is in our feed. So one of them is original content from the ICMAB, right? So that's like that one that Anna's on now. And the other one is a repost. So all of these have reposts, right? So this is something that the people who manage the ICMAB account have seen, and they're reposting it to give it visibility, okay? So that's good for us because I don't know that one, Andres Paya, I don't know if he's got a lot of followers or not, but it could be that the ICMAB has a lot more followers than Andres Paya. So this is a way to get visibility that might not be there. You grow the network and everyone grows together a bit that way, right?
Exactly.
So there was something else I was going to say. Yes. So, I mean, actually, this is, as director, this is a really useful tool as well, because I see what's going on, right? If I want to know, if I'm going to the junta and I want to give highlights of the month, you know, I can go on there and I can see everything that happened in the ICMAB in a month, which sounds stupid, but all of that information, to have that in one place, for me is really useful.
Yeah, exactly. So all the activities we do are here. Then in Blue Sky, this is the Blue Sky profile. It's very similar, and Twitter is like a copy, because as you know, with everything that happened in Twitter, Musk and these things, a lot of people went to Blue Sky. We also went to Blue Sky, although we didn't leave Twitter, as you can see, because we have like 10 times more followers in Twitter than in Blue Sky. In Blue Sky, we have 560 now. But we post more or less the same type of posts, although there is less interaction here because there is less people here that post, that interact. So there is also less retweets, but well, we are on this social network too. I don't know if you have comments on.
Yeah, I made a comment on X Blue Sky. So just so for you to know, X is a commercial organization, right? So, I mean, apart from it being Elon Musk, people say it's really bad atmosphere in the academic environment. I don't think it is. The reality is there's a lot more people on X. Not many people went to Blue Sky. Blue Sky is non-commercial, and there are ways of interacting with it that are much more flexible with X, because X, the content is very closed, whereas Blue Sky and Mastodon, which we won't talk about because it's really small, the following, but those two is kind of your own content. So it's on a separate server. It's not a company server. LinkedIn and Instagram are also private companies. So LinkedIn is run by owned by Microsoft. Instagram,
Facebook, Meta. Zuckerberg.
Meta, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's Zuckerberg. Okay. So just for you to know, so Blue Sky is the more kind of non-commercial, let's say. You don't have adverts on Blue Sky. You have adverts on X and LinkedIn. So, you know,
yeah. So for example, this, apart from posting news from our website, we also post news that of activities like that happened to disseminate. No, for example, yesterday Dino Tonti went to Sant Cugat Radio to talk about the project he has in collaboration with Alba. So we also posted the link to the radio program. So if you click here, then you can go to the radio and hear Dino. That I really recommend you to do that because it's an interesting project too. And then we have LinkedIn. That this is now a growing. Well, this is my profile. Sorry. Let's go to ICMAB. This is like a very growing social media in the last year. So I would say that 5 years ago, Twitter and LinkedIn, we had more or less the same amount of followers. And now on LinkedIn, we have more than 11,000. And Twitter, I said 5,000. So it's like more than the double. Yeah, there's a lot of people in LinkedIn, maybe because people are there also to find jobs, there's more exchange, it's more a professional network. That's how it started, in fact. People have their updated profile, their education, what they have worked on, which, by the way, is very important to have an updated profile in LinkedIn. But now it's also used as like Twitter, in a sense, that you can also post news, articles, and different things. So, for example, this would be our page posts. For example, now just 16 minutes ago, we did a repost of ZMBM, which is they will come here for a seminar to talk about patents. No, so that's a repost. This is about the news. Again, the news, as you can see before, in Twitter, the text is very short. No, where was it here? That's the Los Grillos news. And in LinkedIn, we can do a longer text. That is also an advantage of LinkedIn. No? But we also put a link to our website, so people can go there, and a photo. This is about the news on our website, and so on, so on, so on. And what is very important, and I will say afterwards, is to tag always people so they can see what you have posted and they can interact, no? Comment, like, or repost. Because if you don't tag people or institutions, sometimes they don't see it because, I mean, there's a lot of people posting everything and you don't see everything in your feed. But if you tag them or if you mention them, they will receive a notification and they will go to your post and they will do retweets. So I really recommend you also when you post things about your research to tag and mention ICMAB so we can see you and repost, because if not, maybe it escapes our feed and we don't see it. Yes. What do you mean real?
No, interaction. For example, in this post,
Yes.
if there's some interaction,
Mira,
like comments, likes, or
it depends on the post, but yes. For example, if we have here Luis Casabona, I can show you an example because it has been a tweet with many. Now we are here.
You can really see it's easy to find people on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
you know, you just go
so
from-
I don't know if he commented this, but for example, let's go to the dashboard. Wait.
On this one, there was 6 likes, right? If you get the one, that one, there's 7 likes.
7 repost. But there are ones that, if you talk about people, maybe we have 100 likes, or for example, the post from Gabriele De Luca, your post about the ERC project, this one received like 200 likes. Yeah. So if it's like an award or something that is nice that happened, it receives a lot of comments. Well, not very lot of comments, but likes, yes, and comments, some of them, yeah. Well, now I don't see the one from Luis, but it's going to be there.
I think there is a thing with LinkedIn and Blue Sky, you don't see how many people have seen what you post. With Twitter, you can see that. There's a little button at the bottom that you can see how many people have actually seen it. So could you just go to X for a moment,
Yeah.
Anna? So just scroll down a bit, down the bottom. Yeah, like here. So for example, this one here, that one.
84.
So 84 people saw it, but there's only 2 likes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So 84 people have seen that somewhere, no? So on Blue Sky and LinkedIn, you can't see that, right? But that number, that's relatively recent. That number will get into hundreds, right? So typically, if you've got 5,000 followers, I guess you'd get maybe 1,000 people would see it, roughly.
Here, for example, the post from Luis, 74 likes, well, 75 in fact, but 1 comment also, yeah. So yeah, it depends on the type of post you. What people really like is when you talk about people and something they did or they have been awarded, or, you know, about personal things, more than that. And then we have also Instagram, which is I would say, quite different platform. When it was born, Instagram was a lot of only photos. Now it allows many different things. In fact, you can post photos, stories, reels, videos, photo carousel, no? But as ICMAB, we use it more, as I said before, more to show who's behind science, no? So show more the people, and events we do, or, I mean, we don't post all of the news of our website here. We just post some of them. And for example, the congratulations of theses or things that we see that interact more with people. Although we use the stories, you know, the stories are here. Oh, not available. You know, stories last 24 hours. So we also share this one. This was a story from the CSIC and we share it here. This is a story from ICFO, the one I told Agustin from the iconic project. And this is, for example, yesterday, Dino. And we also use it to announce the seminars, for example, no? That we're going to do. And a thing that we are exploiting now also is the Reels part. So do some videos, for example, this one with Guillem. About the language pair experience, no? With Guillem and Julia, which is very nice. Here, 75 people liked it. And I think you can see the people who view it. Yeah, like 1,345 people view it. So these are the views, and also we have this one, for example, from Anna Crespi and Xavi about the Nano Day. This one received, well, 70 something likes and 1,700 views. It's not bad. Okay, so these are the main 4 platforms. Well, we have YouTube. We won't talk about YouTube here, just for you to know it's there. And we use it as a video repository, you can say, of the seminars we do here and some videos. Most of them have around 50, 100 views. But for example, if somebody is an influencer like Turiel, he has 3,000 views. You see here, this one is because he's already has a group of people following him and his ideas. But well, in general, we are about.
So with that one, Anna, I guess it's got 3,000 views because he must have put it on his social media and people get there, I guess. No?
Probably, or maybe people look for Turiel in YouTube and find it, or yeah, who knows? Or maybe he has posted it because Turiel has in Twitter, he has, look, Eloisa, I think I had to, yeah, 65,000 followers. Yeah. So he would be like the influencer of no? Society. We have research groups, as you can see. CSIC has nearly 1 million followers. 962,000 in CSIC, which is quite a lot. So when CSIC does a repost of our post, you can imagine there's a lot more interaction. So that's why we usually also tag CSIC in our posts, so they can also interact.
But now you're there, Anna. Can you just go down a few posts?
Of CSIC?
Yeah, just scroll down a bit, just so that it's a slightly older, just so it's a slightly older post, right? So we can see how many likes they have, because I don't think they have that many likes either, right?
32 likes.
Yeah, which isn't a lot, right?
5,000 people saw it. And 32 likes. No. Eloisa Del Pino is very active also in Twitter. So if you want to be friends with the president, you can also interact with her and even talk to her through Twitter. I don't know how many.
I talked to her through Twitter and she replied.
See?
DMing, right? This is the DMing thing, right?
CSIC. Well, so these are some examples. Now let's continue. Well, we'll see this. As I said, we use it basically for 3 things. Share our research, events, news from our website. Also interact with the scientific community, because it's not only enough to post, it's also good to interact, no? So like, comment, share, etc. And also share events of interest for ICMABers and for our community that can follow us. Now, why should you consider being in social media? Maybe some of you are, maybe some of you aren't. I think that if you are here, you are already a little bit convinced about social media, no? Como digo, talking to the prayer, no? Preaching
to the choir.
Preaching to the choir, exactly. I'm preaching to the choir, but well, visibility, no? So it increases the visibility of your science beyond journals, beyond your lab, and you can reach different kinds of audiences, student, journalist, industry, etc. Maybe some of you have some examples of some company that has contacted you because they have seen a post, or a student, I don't know, who has seen what your research and is interested in your science, etc. Networking, as David said, there's a lot of collaborators or people you can follow that maybe in the future you can collaborate with. So it's a great tool for networking, especially if you go to conferences, to events. You can tag speakers and maybe they see you and want to talk to you. Also, maybe if you have to build a PhD committee and you don't know who to bring, you can find somebody who's of the same topic of what you're working on, and you can invite him or her. So yeah, I think it's a nice thing about social media too. I don't know if you use it in this way as a scientist. Networking and contacting people.
Definitely. I mean, from a PhD level, for example, there are PhD fora. So PhD students who talk about PhD life and stuff like that. If you're into that kind of thing, they exist. Blue Sky is very good because they have starter packs. So for a specific scientific area, you can search starter pack, supramolecular chemistry, my area, right? So you can search that and there'll be a list of all the people that someone made a list of them. So it's a way of really getting started in that area, which is quite useful in some ways. Another way to do that is to go in and see someone really prominent in the area with a lot of followers, see who's following them, right? And then I would say building the network, it's really good to follow people because they see you, and if they follow you back, that way you've got that connection, you know? So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean a great deal, but at least you're kind of identified to that area because you're following them. And if someone did the same as me, like if I want to grow my area, someone working on, I don't know, batteries, no? I go to a really prominent person in batteries and see who's following them. And then I go through their profiles, see who's there. And there may be people in a certain area that I never heard of before, and I can connect with them and interact with them in that way. So.
Nice. Also, of course, to communicate science, that would be also an interesting motivation, no? To make research understandable, you can explain your research in your own words, in different kind of formats with a video, photo, or even just putting the link of your paper. But then it's already out there and people can share it, and it's more accessible because there's so many, well, no papers being published everywhere that it's now people don't go to the journal and look all the titles that are published. No, people like David said, sometimes I use Twitter also to check what happened today, in the news or something. So instead of going to the journal, you go to social media and see. So the same happens with science. If you share your paper, maybe someone will see it, click on it, and it will have another view or maybe another citation. So who knows?
By the way, which is why it's important to engage with people on the network, right? So could you just go to X a moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in X, if you look at the general profile at the top, just go to the home. Right at the top there, you can see there's two tabs at the top. One is for you and the other is following, okay? So X works with an algorithm, so an AI algorithm. So in the for you section, it will post things that they think you're interested in. Yeah. So if you're really into Donald Trump and alt-right and all of that, it will give you all of that stuff, really radical stuff, right? Even though you don't follow it. Whereas in the following section, it will only give you, in principle, the posts or reposts of things that people you follow have posted, okay? So there's less noise there, let's say. So it's a way to, when you're following it's a way to kind of reduce the amount of noise you get. Because I understand that one fear could be that, there's just too much stuff here, right? Which is true, there's a lot of stuff. But it's a lot more reduced in the following. And if you're feeling like going out there and seeing what the AI algorithm of X suggests, go into for you and see what's there.
Look, now I just saw that in Sociemat, finalistas del premio Sociemat, Mejor TFM. There's Adrián López Pontanilla from ICMAB. You see? I already knew he was finalist, but now I see it here. So I can make a repost, for example, repost. No? And let's see if he wins the prize. So yes, you can see there's a lot of research center and also the agencies, funding agencies, la Agencia Estatal, CDTI, the associations, as you said, iSocieties. Well, okay. And then the four point of why you should consider being active on social media is also for career development. Online presence can be noted by people who you don't know, but you may be interested that they notice that you exist, employers, funding agencies, as we said, collaborators. And also, as you know now, in many projects, they value if you do like publicity or, if you communicate your science, in many projects, they ask, which type of actions have you done to communicate this research? So, yeah.
Actually, now you say that. So, I mean, this is a form of impact, let's say. What is also a form of impact is the altmetric score, which I don't think we put in here, did we?
No,
we didn't think about that. So there's a thing called altmetric, which I think stands for alternative metrics. So this is not just citations, right? So if you look up alt metric, ALT metric, it gives you a kind of a colored wheel. And in that colored wheel, there's kind of number of views or citations that an article has. But then there's also things like mentions in the press, mentions on social media, a heap of other things in there. You know, there's lots of things in this alt metric score, but social media is part of that. So it's interesting from that point of view, because it's a different kind of impact, let's say a softer kind of impact, which with all of the new ways of evaluating things is maybe quite interesting to participate in.
Yeah. Now, some of you might say, okay, very nice, but I don't like social media because some of these reasons. So let's go one by one. A lot of people say, I don't have time. No, I don't have time to be in social media. I have a lot of time. I have a lot of work with my research projects, lab, etc., etc., etc. Well, you don't have to be 24 hours scrolling social media or looking at social media. To start with, I mean, to do a tweet, it's only 5 minutes. I mean, for example, when you receive an email that your paper has been accepted, you can get the link and go to one of the social media and say, hey, my paper has been accepted in this journal with this and that. Thank you, this institute and that institute and whatever. And you put the link and that's it. And that's 5 minutes. So, or you can, if you go by train or metro, you can use also the time in the public transport to do a little tweet. Or if you come by car from the parking here, just 3 minutes or 5 minutes, really. So doing a tweet is, you can stay 5 minutes per day doing tweet, or one post a week even though. So
please don't do it crossing the road or going up and down stairs, because it's dangerous, right, Roberta?
Prevenció de riscos, no? No, but what I mean is that it's really quick and efficient. I mean, and you don't have to spend all day. It's true that if you have an account, it's no use if it's inactive. I mean, to have it without anything, it's useless, right? But if you only do one post per week, it's okay to start with that. Or, you know, you spend 5 minutes a day doing a tweet. Like you start the day, okay, what happened today? Well, it's particularly interesting if you go attend an event, like if you are in the event, then you can post a link to the event and say that you are there. So it doesn't have to, you don't have to spend all the day like me on social media. No, there's no need.
I would say another thing. I mean, what is very, sorry, go ahead.
Saying that you post one thing a week, more or less.
Example, you can start with that.
There might not be enough worthy things to post. So the conclusion is that there is a lot of noise because people put irrelevant things in these places.
Well, there's irrelevant things, but this is also a point. Nobody cares what I post, no? Or it's irrelevant. Well, maybe it's irrelevant if you think it's irrelevant, but maybe somebody finds it interesting, no? What you can say. I mean, or if you want, you can only post when your paper is accepted or when you are given a project, like some important things for you, no? You don't have to post every week if you don't want. But I think that even if it's not relevant for you, maybe others can find it interesting. Like we are doing this experiment in the lab today. Maybe for you it's like common work, or I'm running this simulation in your case, no? Maybe for you it's common, but for some other people can find it, wow, this is interesting, no? So you never know who's going to look at this post, no?
I think it's true. There is a lot of noise. I used to post a lot more than I do now. Not really because of time, but just because I think people don't interact with it. So if I don't get lots of likes, I don't bother. Like Anna said, they accepted my paper, right? Personally, I don't like that. But anyway, up to you. Everyone's free to do. I post when it's published, right? And when it's published, I say, thank you, whoever worked on it, whoever I collaborated with, where it's published, the funders.
It's better when there's the link to the paper.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if someone says, hey, my paper's accepted, it's like, well, okay, tell me more, no? But so that's a bit useless. But it is true there's a lot of noise, but you don't have to look at it. I mean, in the end, if you've got it and use it, that there's this part, I mean, and I'll come to this, I think, kind of this idea that it's self-promotion. I mean, in part it is self-promotion, but also I think, you know, I mean, everyone hates someone who brags about their stuff, right? I mean, we've all interacted with someone socially when you meet them and they say, oh yeah, I just got a paper accepted in Nature and I'm doing this and I've got a massive project. You think, well, okay. And they don't ask you what you're doing, right? I mean, that exists on Twitter, that exists everywhere, right? But there are nice people there, and there are people who interact with and are genuinely interested to know what you're doing. So, you know, it's a mixture of everything. I mean, it's like real society with all of those aspects, you know. So I think it's interesting to post. I mean, once a week, I would say for a researcher, is quite a lot, I would say. But reposting is another thing, right? Because if I've got a colleague, without being director, right? So I have a director account in X and I have a personal account. The personal account, I repost things from academic colleagues who've just published a paper. So does that count as publishing once a week? I guess so. But
it's fine.
But I think it's a way to give promotion to them, and they'll probably do the same for me, you know? So it's a way to build a community and get that knowledge out there in a way which you couldn't do just by putting it in the journal and hoping people find it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And in case you don't have really things to put, you can comment something or do a repost or things like that. So yeah, little by little. Maybe you can say, I already do science communication, no, publishing papers, going to conferences. Well, yeah, this is very good and you have to continue doing that, of course, but this is to the scientific community, no? As I said before, in social media, you reach other type of audiences that increases the visibility of your work and the impact too. I might make mistakes. No, this is also a fear of some of you who say, I don't know how to post. I'm afraid somebody will say something about my tweet or whatever. Well, first you can delete it. If you make a very big mistake, then delete it. But also what I think is it's better that the control of the narrative, no? So if it's you that post, you say what you want in your own words, you explain your research in your own words, and you don't let that somebody else does it for you. No, or you can defend yourself in this case. No, so it's better to, I don't know if you get the point, but you control what you want to be said, and in the moment it has to be said. No, if you do it. So don't worry about making mistakes, and also you are not influencers. No, so if Rosalia says something in a post, yeah, it has a lot of impact worldwide. No, but if some of you or even us do a post, I mean the impact. It's not going to be like worldwide, so don't worry. Nobody will hate you for that.
Well, unless it's a really sexist or racist remark, right? Then it probably would get out there. But anyway, yeah. But you wouldn't do that anyway.
Then there's the nobody cares what I post, nobody follows me. Well, and that's also for the other point. It doesn't impact my research really. Well, how do you know? I invite you to try it, to post start simple, little by little. And it will end up strengthening your profile, and you never know who's going to see that post, and maybe it will bring something good, and if it doesn't, but well, it's going to be there, and that's it. I mean, you won't lose anything about it. What David just said now, that some of you also think, I don't want that ego, or I'm more humble. I don't want people thinking that I'm just self-promoting my science. Well, sharing science has to be directly linked with showing off, no? And I see it also as a thing of recognized teamwork. For example, no, if they say this paper has just been published with also for young students, for example, for young researchers. It's part of the thesis of these people. Thanks to the collaborators. So it's also kind of value the contribution of everyone. No, you don't have to post. In fact, a mistake that I will talk about it later is over posting. No, so you don't have to post. I go to the toilet now. Everything you do every day. This is a mistake because then people just will mute you. They will silence you and stop following you because tampoc volem ser pesats, no? But yeah, saying things like some important milestones of your work, I think it's good and to recognize the work of all. Visibility helps science reach people. Well, that's what we also said. And yeah, humility and visibility are not opposites. So even if you share science, you can be humble. I mean, you don't have to be to have a lot of ego just to share what you want to share. Yeah. And also that of its public service, no? Well, this is like an argument that science is funded, no, by public agencies, and people have the right to know what's happening in research centers, no? So it's also good to let people know that we are doing science and reach people. I don't know if you have comments on this section or. Yeah. Well, here I wanted to show you some of the platforms which you saw, but we can, I don't know if you want to show some examples you had.
I had some examples. So maybe of different kinds of profiles, no? So what you in X?
In X?
Yeah. So can you just search for this one? So there's some people who have quite a big following because they've found a kind of a niche in what they do. So let's start with this one, Masnou. So this is a person who regularly posts that they're a chemist, and they regularly post on, this guy. So he regularly posts on stuff he does in the lab, but he's kind of made, I don't know how many followers he has, 18,000, yeah, which is a lot, right? So 18,000, right? But if you scroll down, I mean, he has some absolutely beautiful pictures, and it's just beautiful, right? So, all right, there's not much scientific content here, apparently, although, of course, there is. But, I mean, he has a real, I mean, now he's kind of been a bit of an influencer and going out there with the video and everything. But before, it was just images and videos of fluorescent molecules, and it's just really cool, all right? So that from a kind of a aesthetic, artistic, scientific point of view. If you go to Blue Sky, Anna.
Blue Sky?
Yeah. And Professor Dave. Okay, so another thing is kind of, it's middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got it there anyway, yeah, I think. Yeah, top one. Yeah. So, I mean, he posts on loads of stuff, right? So he's gay, so openly gay. So he's a promoter of gay rights. He also wrote a cookbook. He had a husband who died, and he was like all of that. So I mean, his personal life and professional life here are totally mixed, right? Personally, I wouldn't do that. Some people feel comfortable with that. He does. It's fine. But how many followers does he have, Anna? I mean, he has
4,000.
4,600. Okay. So, I mean, probably sometimes between us, it can be a bit of a drag, some of the stuff he puts up there. But anyway, I mean, that's his personality. It's fine. But he posts, you can see personal stuff, cooking stuff, and also his research, which is probably less. But nonetheless, he clearly is out there and people interact with him in a big way. Another kind of profile in that sense is
In Blue Sky?
Yeah, Blue Sky, yeah. ZJS, yeah, that's her, right. So another one, this is an analytical chemist who is a real advocate for mental health in the science career, let's say. And she's got a lot of followers as well. I mean, there you can see she posts some personal stuff as well. She's got 11,000 followers. She doesn't post so much about science, I have to say, but it's more about research life, let's say. But it's interesting as well, right? From our point of view. And other people are interested in that. I mean, she's got a much broader following than just her specific scientific area because she posts about this stuff. Another example in LinkedIn is Jen Heemstra. Yeah, Jen Heemstra is a professor in the USA. So she posts a lot about, again, she's extremely open about her personal feelings about the scientific career. So what she posts up there is challenges she has and solutions she thinks are good in leadership, for example. So that's one example, but there are lots of other things in this account, okay? And there's lots of content that you can see in there. So there's all kinds of different kinds of profiles. And then what Anna said before, well, there's Compound Chem, which I think is in Blue Sky. Well, they're everywhere, I think. Compound Chem. Yeah, that top one.
All together?
That top
yeah.
one, yeah. So this one is, I really like this one, right, as a chemist, because they give you kind of infographics. If you
Yeah.
just scroll down, this is really nice. So like chemistry of pumpkins, for example, it's just really cool, right? They have loads of, and there's all kinds of things like that. You know, it's just interesting, right? From an outreach point of view, it's really cool. So, you know, if you're up for it, you could do something about, I don't know, optics or whatever it might be, you know. You know, invent an area and you can make your personality out there. And I mean, that one's anonymous actually, but although there is one person behind it, I think. But anyway, those are the kind of varieties of things that you can see out there.
Okay, now I just wanted to show you some particularities of each network. Now, for example, Rosario just did a tweet, no? 1 minute ago. Very good, very good. So proud of our first publication on antimicrobial PDT of boron cluster, because so we posted this publication, no, ICMAB research, and then Rosario did a repost of our tweet. So yeah, very nice. And then what we can do is like and repost Rosario's post, for example. So we amplify the visibility of the research in collaboration with UAB. So as you see, Twitter is like small texts. People also use some hashtags, no? For Ciencia de Materiales today. This would be like the conference, no, Día Mundial de los Materiales also, no? So you can use some hashtags to follow. Also tag and mention people with the app, no? As you know. So you also can mention people or institutions that you want them to see your post and then to repost it. And it's also very useful to add or a link or a photograph or even a short video, no, a GIF or a video. Blue Sky is the same as Twitter in this sense. LinkedIn is, as I said before, you can take longer texts. Also important to tag people and also institutions and things that you want to see the text. And then also links. Also, they say that a link in LinkedIn decreases the visibility of the post. But well, we usually do it because we want people to go to our website. People sometimes put the links in the comments section because they say they penalize if you put links to external sites. LinkedIn wants that everything is in LinkedIn, you know, like videos. If you put a link to YouTube, they also penalize you because they want the videos to be in there.
Yeah, remember it's Microsoft.
So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just something to know about. So on the left-hand side there, you can see notifications. If you just click in there.
Yeah.
So this is a way to see how people interact with what you do. Okay. So for example, there Casper reposted something. Yeah. I don't know what it was. Okay, so it was his thing. He reposted, but anyway, that's fine. But this is a way to also identify people who are interacting with what you do. So for example, if that happened to be someone that you're not following, you could just go to their profile and follow them, right? So it's a way to grow a network, let's say.
Horacio has just started following us. Maybe he's online. I don't know if he's following this seminar. This visited the library of the UAB. Yeah, the Royal Society of Chemistry liked this publication, no? So we did this publication of a study, no? Published the one with Alba. Then here is like, you can do threads in Twitter, right? So you can do a tweet and then put plus and you can continue doing several tweets. That's useful because as you can put like only a few words, you can use a thread to expand the information. And then on the last of the thread was the article has been published in the Royal Society of Chemistry journal, Energy and Environmental Science. And here is a link to the paper. So now, as we tagged the Royal Society of Chemistry, they also liked our publication, which is good. And yeah, so this is our different interactions. David Amabilino. Mira, Julia, for example, she came to the Future Leaders program. This is also good. When you go to events, then you can do something like Julia did here, for example. No? Thank you, ICMAB, for organizing such an inspiring event and for the superb hospitality. I truly enjoyed connecting with ICMAB scientists and colleagues across the material science community. That's very nice. So because she reposted our news of the Future Leaders event that we did. And then I think we said, thank you to you. No, we love having young scientists with energy and ideas like you with us, etc. So we also, when people comment, we also try to answer and be nice, which is also very good.
Anna, could you click on one of the hashtags? Maybe future leaders, let's say.
Yeah.
So if you click on there, this will go to all of the publications that have future leaders in them. And this could be a way to grow your network, right? I mean, I'm not saying do that one, right? But that could be a way to grow your network, okay?
Okay. Let's go back here. I also wanted to say that apart from you as researcher, there are a lot of, in fact, ICMAB research groups that have social media that you can also follow. So the NN group has the Suman, the Food Nanosurf. Well, different groups have research that if you want to hide yourself, you can say and you don't want your to be so exposed, you can do a profile of your research group, for example, and then tweet from there.
Although I have to say, people don't interact so much with groups.
Exactly, because people like to follow people, as we said before, but it's also an option. In LinkedIn, in fact, there's Nanomol Bio, run by Guillem, and also apart from research group, there are also projects, because in fact, some projects, they say in the proposal that they will have some social media, and then there's some projects that have social media. Although in this case, I mean, it's good, but then the problem is the duration, because some projects only last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Then what do you do with these accounts, because it will be inactive after these 4 years. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the best idea to have project. I don't know. It's good if they have continuity in this sense. Well, here are some tips about posting. So ideas for you to post, publications, new projects, awards, when you go to events, when you have open positions. This is very, very important, in fact, particularly in LinkedIn, when people is there to find also jobs, but also in the other platforms too. Be clear, be visual, tag collaborators, use also images and videos. And as I said before, they say now that interaction is the new visibility, in the sense that it's good to interact with people, so the algorithms then make you go up in the feed of others. We can say this can take more time. I mean, it's not obligatory to do it, but it's always good to like, comment, share, and so as we said before, to encourage the community, and then you also become more visible. Or what I also recommend, if you go to events, let's say a conference or to an award ceremony or something like that, the before, during, after strategy. So before the event, like one week before, you say you're going to go there to this conference, and you tag the conference, put a link to the website, etc. During the event, you can share some highlights of the event. You can tag some speakers, do a group photo of the participants in the event. And then after the event, when you're back home, so you can write some highlights of said that you were in the event. So there's like this strategy of before, during, after, or say thank you to the organizers, etc., etc. So this is what we also do here at ICMAB in many of the events we organize. So we announce the event, then during the event we post some photos of the event, and then we do the news post of what happened in the event. Tone and language. Well, you can use the language you feel more comfortable with, because in fact now with the translator, I mean, everyone, even if it's in Catalan, Spanish, English, the language you feel more comfortable. In ICMAB, for example, we usually do in English, except...
Sorry, yeah, just one thing here. So actually on a lot of the social media, there's actually a translate button.
Exactly. So even if you do in Catalan or Spanish, if somebody is English speaker, they can translate directly and it translates. We usually do Catalan if it's an outreach event, like Semana de la Ciencia or something for the local magnet, exactly. But for research, we usually use English in our case. But you can post in the language you feel more confident and that you like. I recommend also to keep a friendly, but professional tone. Don't be negative, don't be haters. People don't like haters. Before doing a It's like sending an email. No, before doing an angry email, just pause and then and talk to your neighbor. If not. And also respect, well, confidentiality of things, of course, embargoes of the articles or patents or whatever. Also, if some colleagues don't want to appear, maybe ask them first if they want to appear or an image. No, I mean, these have to be, well, it's like society in the end. No, you want do something people don't like. Some common mistakes, as I said before, no? So overposting. So we don't want anyone commenting everything and posting every 2 minutes, because then people, they will mute you. Negativity. So people don't like when there is like, no, well, if you have something that you want to fight for, then you can use this platform too. But people in general want a positive atmosphere, no? in social media. Also a common mistake to ignore comments or if somebody asks you a question or comments something, it's good to at least like or answer or put this sign, no? And also spreading unverified info. This for scientists, we are used to that. I mean, we don't usually share fake news, but it's quite common in social media that fake news spread faster than real news, no? But always before retweeting something that you are not sure, so go to the source, verified information, etc., etc. But this, you are scientists, so I don't have to tell that to you. But well, it's true that in social media, and now with AI, I mean, there's so many images and videos that are not real and that are made by AI that you have to be very cautious of what you retweet and repost, because some things, or what you believe in, because you see an image and it may not be true. Oh, I didn't say that, but AI can be a great tool also to use. If you are afraid of writing a post, you can go to ChatGPT and say, what should I say? Or how do I say this in a polite tone? Although I recommend to be more unique, no? And to be yourself and use your own words. But it can be a tool if you are insecure and these things. It can help you too. Although always verify, because ChatGPT sometimes is also wrong. Yeah. So I wanted to show you now a practical demonstration. We don't have any minute now, but we can do a tweet now, for example, from ICMAB. So you go to post and say, for example, we are in the middle of I would put here, social media seminar at ICMAB with that's me, and the editor or Amabilino and David. Yeah. This is a direct post, or direct, I don't know, a live post. And then we can put, I'm not going to do a photo here, but we can, let's see. So this would be, now it doesn't work. Hello. Well, to add a photo is here, as you can see, but it's not responding. Now it's, let me go to LinkedIn and do the same. És que s'ha com bloquejat l'ordinador. Perquè ara no em va res. Vale, no em va res. Well, you see the idea, right? We could do add a photo here. Now, okay. So I prepared, so there is just some captures of the social media, yeah, for example. And then I could just post that, or I could put a link, for example, to the news that we put in our website. So let me go to ICMAB. And here is the seminar, that we are doing. So I copy paste, and I can put it here. Okay, for example, and post. Okay. So that will be the post. In LinkedIn, I recommend that if you want to put, this is a thing I found not long ago. So for example, we are in the middle of a seminar in social media. In LinkedIn, I can edit the post after, so I won't put everything now, but here, if you go to more, you can add a document. And if you choose file, you can add a PDF, which is really good because here, for example, I did a PDF with the photos of the accounts of ICMAB. And then you can have a carousel of photos, you see? Because if not, if you put photos, they show up like small photographs. But if you have a PDF that is visual, you can also put it here and then put like a title. Oops, sorry. That's the direct of things. Where was I? Here. I have so many open. Okay. Done. Well, I'm going to pause now, but I will edit it later. But just for you to show that this is how it would be, no? And pam, pam, pam. Then you have the photos here. Okay.
Just know you're there, Anna. Also, just to highlight that certainly with X and Blue Sky, you can have more than one account, right? So you're not limited. I think they're associated with emails. So if you're not happy about posting personal stuff, you do a professional one. And if you're on it for your own stuff, you just do a separate one. And they're not linked in any way. So, I mean, it's easy to separate things in that way if you want to. There's no problem at all. Okay. LinkedIn, I guess you could do the same. But
yeah, but I think I recommend having only one profile in LinkedIn.
Yeah, right.
People will not know who to tag and these things. Yeah, so yeah, just conclusions, you can read them yourself. If you are not into it, just start small. You can reuse content that you have. We don't ask for extra workload. You can use the links you have of your papers, some photos you have for scientific photos, etc. You don't need to be an influencer. That's not what we are asking for, just to share your science and see it as an opportunity to make more visible your work. So yeah, because as I said before, science is public, so let's make it visible. And don't forget to follow and mention us. And enjoy. Thank you.